everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shaughnessy, and on this channel we discuss fragrance, beauty, and wellness. And if you simply like to have a good time and you like my vibe, please subscribe. In today's video, I am excited to talk about a brand that I have heard so much about on YouTube and that I was interested in. But y'all, I'm not even front. I was hoping they would reach out to me to send me something, but nobody ever does. Okay, but what I'm talking about today is Be Layered. So I finally decided, I'm interested. I'm going to go ahead and purchase some, and I'm glad I did. So I can give you my unsponsored opinion and talk about my experience with Be Layered. So I purchased 3 fragrances, and I had some coupon code that as I was on the site, I can't remember how much I got off, but yeah, so that was good. I got a deal. And I'm going to talk about the fragrances first, and then I will go over my whole experience with ordering from Be Layered. So the first fragrance I purchased was one I was interested in. I want to say almost all of these practically over a year. And like I said, I was trying to hold out, waiting for, are you interested? Would you like me to send you something? But it never happened. So this is Stinky Rose. And that name, I was like, and I heard Perfume Lover 80, Terry, she was sent some fragrances, and she was talking about this one, and she was just raving about it. So I was like, okay. It was added to my list of fragrances I wanted to try from Be Layered. So Stinky Rose is a rose and soft musk fragrance. It's spicy, sweet, sophisticated rose. But it has a freshness to it that is not cloying. This has great projection and sillage. It lasted 8+ hours for me. And I received a compliment the first day I wore it, and it was at the end of the workday. This is when it's been on from 7 to 4. And yeah, I received a compliment. They were like, Shaughnessy, you always smell good, but this is just different today. We were all talking about it. What are you wearing? And that's one thing I don't love about this name. I was a girl, you never believe the name of this fragrance. And I said, it's Stinky Rose. And they were like, what? And I said, yeah, Stinky Rose. So it's different. It's an attention getter. Like I said, it's beautiful smelling it here. It's beautiful sillage. It smells good on me. I just really enjoyed it. I think this is a year-round fragrance. And this was $54.95 on the Be Layered website. And it is 1.8 ounces. So that is what I think about Stinky Rose. I think it's beautiful. I think it's year-round. I love it. And Stinky Rose is also their own fragrance, because they make dupes of fragrances and they have their own creations, and this is one of their own, and it's beautiful. So the next fragrance I want to talk about, this was on my list for quite a while also, like I said, and that is Cherry Delight. Now this is a dupe of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and this has notes of black cherry, bitter almond, cherry liqueur, wood, spices, fresh flowers, and fruits. Now when I smell this, I get like a deep, dark, ripe, drippy cherry fragrance. It's a little sweet, but it's a dark sweetness. It's not candy sweet cherry. It's not like that at all. Now this one has moderate projection and sillage, and it lasted 6 to 8 hours on my skin, but I felt like it was close. Like I said, it sat closer to me, and This is $62.99 on the Belaird website. And like I said, all the bottles are 1.8 ounces. Now, this does remind me of Victor and Rolf Dancing Roses. It's not like they don't smell exactly alike, but it does remind me of Victor and Rolf Dancing Roses. That can give you an idea of what this smells like. Now, I have never smelled Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, but I heard people say when I was watching videos comparing Cherry Delight to Lost Cherry that they said that this was sweeter. So that's why I really wanted to smell this first before I, see if I wanted to shell out all that money for Tom Ford. And this to me isn't even that sweet. So that makes me think I would prefer this one since, most people say this is sweeter. So the last fragrance that I purchased from Belaird, this is one that was out of stock forever and a day. And I would hunt the website, stalk it, trying to get this fragrance. And that is Caramel Overdose. Now this just says it's caramel. I couldn't find any notes. It just says caramel because they have some that are like, the one note fragrances, and this is one of them, and it's caramel. So this is $62.99 also on their website. Now this is a caramel, sugary, fluffy, marshmallow sweet fragrance. This has moderate projection and sillage. It lasted for about 6 to 8 hours. And like Cherry Delight, I felt like it set closer to my skin. But I just wore this to an art show, and I felt enveloped. But I didn't just wear it by itself. So I'm going to tell you what I layered it with. But first, let me say, this is not promoted as a dupe for Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy, but it is. I don't know why they don't promote this as a dupe when it's the same price as their dupe fragrances, because it is. This smells very close to Kilian Love Don't Be Shy. I would say over 90% it smells like Kilian Love Don't Be Shy. It has nice quality to it, but I do think Love Don't Be Shy is blended better and smells of higher quality and just a little more elevated. And see, that's one reason why I really wanted to get a fragrance that I had that was a dupe of a fragrance I had in my collection, because I don't have Cherry Delight. I never smelled Cherry Delight, so I wanted to see how they did duping a fragrance. And I must say, this is a great dupe because it does smell like Kilian Love Don't Be Shy. And I don't think anybody smelling it in the air would be like, oh no, that smell, that's not Love Don't Be Shy, that's a dupe, because you can't tell. But when you love fragrance, and especially when you start a channel like I have, you're reviewing, you're researching, you start to pick up more than just the average perfume wearer. And so this, to me, like I said, it smells like it, but it's blended well, but it's not blended as well to my nose as the original Kilian Love Don't Be Shy. Now, another reason why I got this is because I wanted, when I didn't feel like spraying that expensive Kilian, and to layer with it. And I loved it for that. Like I said, I wore it to an art show this past weekend. And I wore Kilian Love Don't Be Shy Extreme. And I just sprayed that on my pulse points. And then I sprayed my clothes with this. Save the expensive. I sprayed my clothes with this. And I just felt like I smelled just decadently delicious, okay? So let's get into what my thoughts are with the whole experience. So shipping from Belaire, I thought it was average. All of this came in 5 days. It didn't come in a box, which surprised me. It came in, you know, that thick bubble wrap packaging, those envelopes. And all of the fragrances leaked a little bit. It's not enough to where it was noticeable, like a lot was missing or anything. It was just a little residue when I would take the top off on each of them, but not enough to bother me or be like irate. So to me, that was fine. Shipping was fine. The packaging, I wanted to show you how it arrives. So it comes in, if I can get it back in here, a little dust bag. And this is how your fragrances are packaged. I think this is nice. You know, it's not, it's okay, but to me it's not necessary, but it is a nice touch. It's a nice touch. And the actual packaging of the fragrances, they're all packaged the same. It's nice and simple, but in my opinion, for most of the fragrances being over $50, I think it could have been a little bit better, because like on this Cherry Delight, this sticker, it's bubbling, if you can see that. And, you know, I'm paying over 50 bucks. I think it could be just a little more elevated. To me, this packaging looks more around the $30, $35 range of fragrances. But like I said, it's nice, simplistic packaging. And I'm over the top. I love girly, you know, ornate packaging. But this, like I said, it is nice. Now, the quality of the fragrances, I think the quality is very nice. And it's on I'm smelling Caramel Overdose again. And it is on the designer level. They don't smell cheap, because some fragrances, they can smell cheap. They just can. To different people's noses, different fragrances can smell cheap. And I know the smell, when I think of fragrance smells cheap, this doesn't have that to me. So now we're going to talk about, do I think it's worth purchasing fragrances from Belaire, and would I reorder from them? So I do think it's worth purchasing the dupes of expensive fragrances, niche priced fragrances, not the designer. Because if I'm gonna pay over $50 for a dupe of Carolina Herrera's Good Girl, I can get the 1 ounce for around that price, or 60. You know, to me, that's not worth it. I would rather get paid a little bit more and get the pretty packaging and, you know, all of that. But if you have, you know, Caramel Overdose, Love Don't Be Shy is it's either $2.75 or $2.95. Then you have Cherry Delight, the full size, the big bottle, I think is $3.50 or $3.50 to $500. Yeah, it is definitely worth it to pay, you know, $63 to see if you, number one, want to invest. Do you love it enough to invest in a fragrance like that? Or number two, you're not dropping money like that on a fragrance, but you want the smell of it. It's great for that. Now, I would definitely reorder from Belaire again, especially if there's a niche fragrance I'm interested in, because I'm not one. You know, I don't like going to the perfume counter. I just don't, because most of the time I'm not gonna buy a fragrance when I'm there. I just want to look, I want to smell, I want to see. Then I'm gonna go look on FragranceNet. I'm gonna go try to find a deal. You know, I'm not gonna just walk in and buy a fragrance. And so usually for me, I don't want to go where I'm going to be asked all the time, can I help you? What about this? What about that? Do you want this? Because, you know, I know what I like. I just want to be left alone unless I say, will you help me? So that's a bad attitude. That's how I've always been. As a teenager, that's how I've been. So that's not changing. So for me, if I would say I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to do my research, and I'm going to buy Cherry Delight, see what I think. And see, after buying Cherry Delight, I don't think I need Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, because number one, this is nice, but it didn't blow my mind. And it reminds me of a fragrance that's in my collection, which is Viktor & Rolf's Dancing Roses. So for that alone, Be Layered is great to me. It's a great alternative if you don't want to spend that money. Now, what for designer fragrances? No, I'm not paying just $10 less for 1.8 ounces. That's $50-some, and then I can go get the packaging and the original fragrance for $10 more for 1 ounce. So to me, that's not worth it at all. Now, and I'm the type that if I fall in love with something, let's say if I fell in love with Cherry Delight, I wouldn't be satisfied with just a dupe. I'd want Cherry Delight. So you have to watch yourself. Are you one that's gonna spend the money on this and then be like, I gotta go get the real thing now? So I do think it's worth it, but just don't be dropping your money on the dupes and the original, because unless you use it up, that would be me. Because I wouldn't let myself. I'll be like, I got to use this up, and then I'll see if I want to go get it. But for me, if I have like a dupe or something, then I'll be like, I want the original if I really love it. That's just how I am. So I did have a great experience with Be Layered. Their original fragrance, Stinky Rose, was the only one that got me a compliment. And I love it. So I know I will be looking on their site and reordering from them again because it was a good experience. I got a coupon. Shipping to me was decent, 5 days. That's good. The packaging, like I said, is good. Not great, but it's good. And I think it's wonderful to try these fragrances if you're interested in niche fragrances that you're not ready to drop that money on, or you're just not going to drop that money, period. But you want a nice fragrance that smells very, very, very similar to it. So if you all enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below telling me, have you tried any fragrances from Be Layered? And tell me what your favorites are, because I know I will be getting more fragrances from them. And I would love to know what, some of you all love so I can add it to my little list. Please share this video with everyone who loves fragrances as much as we all do. And please turn on your notification bell so you won't ever, ever, ever miss any of my videos. And as I always say, if you like my vibe, subscribe. Until next time, bye.